The first worlds died quietly, not with explosions or firestorms, but with absence. No distress calls were sent, no fleets scrambled, no weapons discharged. Entire systems simply stopped existing. One moment their stars burned faithfully on the long-range sensors. The next there was nothing but background radiation and a geometry that made no sense to instruments or minds. At first, the Galactic Union blamed errors, calibration drift, or sabotage. Astrophysicists argued while admirals scoffed, because annihilation without warning did not fit any known model of warfare. Enemies announced themselves, even monsters leave signatures. This left nothing, not even wreckage, to fear. Then the disappearances accelerated. Civilizations older than humanity, species that had survived supernovae, plagues, and godlike wars, vanished between one transmission and the next. Not destroyed, not conquered, but removed. As if reality itself had decided they were no longer necessary. The Union Council convened in emergency session, surrounded by holograms of absence. Maps filled with expanding voids where stars should have been. No energy spike, no spatial rupture, no detectable weapon. Only a pattern that hurt to look at, because the voids followed no straight lines and obeyed no natural laws. They sent probes. Nothing returned. They sent drones linked by quantum entanglement. The moment the drones crossed the invisible boundary, the entanglement collapsed as if it had never existed. Not severed, not disrupted, simply erased from history. Panic followed denial. Religious sects proclaimed cosmic judgment. Military strategists demanded targets they could aim at. Scientists began whispering the unthinkable, that this was not an attack, but a process. Then humanity noticed. Humans had only recently joined the interstellar community, regarded as clever but primitive, loud thinkers with dangerous curiosity. Their territory lay near the edge of one of the expanding voids. Union officials prepared evacuation orders, assuming humanity would panic like the rest. Instead, human observatories went dark. Not destroyed, but deliberately shut down. Human diplomats withdrew without explanation. Human warships did not mobilize. Inside human space, something older than their interstellar age stirred. Not a weapon, not a fleet, but a concept buried deep in their history. A lesson learned long before they reached the stars, when they first realized the universe did not care if they survived. Human physicists compared the voids to theoretical constructs once dismissed as mathematical curiosities. Events where causality unraveled, where observation itself became irrelevant. They did not ask what was attacking. They asked what rule of reality had been violated. And when they found the answer, no one celebrated. Because the truth was worse than extinction. The galaxy was not being invaded. It was being edited. Somewhere beyond comprehension, something was correcting an error. And entire civilizations were the typo. Humanity did not announce this discovery. They did not warn the galaxy. They simply began preparing for something no weapon could stop. Something no mind could fully understand. Something that did not know war. Only correction. The void advanced, but it curved around human space. Not deflected, not resisted, simply bypassed. Entire constellations vanished, while Earth's skis remained unchanged. To the Union, this was mercy or coincidence. To humanity, it was a warning. Human scientists overlaid disappearance maps with human observational history. Radio surveys, gravitational lensing experiments, background noise recordings from centuries past. The match was horrifyingly precise. Every erased region corresponded to places the galaxy had mapped too deeply, too confidently. Places where reality had been forced to explain itself. Humanity had done the opposite. They had learned early that observation changes outcomes. That certainty is a form of violence against complex systems. Their sciences favored probability, uncertainty, models that refused to collapse into absolutes. They did not demand the universe behave. They adapted to its indifference. The void was not destroying civilizations. It was removing fixed assumptions. Species that believed the universe could be fully known, fully measured, fully controlled. Species that had built empires on deterministic laws. Humanity had never trusted such comfort. Union scholars rejected this idea as superstition, until their own archives betrayed them. The most advanced civilizations were the first to vanish. Those with perfect simulations, flawless predictions, and absolute control. Their knowledge had become too precise. Humanity realized the void was a self-correcting mechanism, a cosmic immune response against overdetermination. The universe defending its own unpredictability. And humanity had survived because they had never stopped doubting. So they made a choice no other species would consider. They would not fight the void. They would speak to it. Not with language, but with restraint. Human networks went quiet. Sensors were blinded, archives sealed, observations randomized. Humanity deliberately forgot things. Not erased data, but invalidated certainty. They introduced noise as an offering. The void slowed. Barely, but measurably. For the first time since the annihilations began, the pattern hesitated. The galaxy did not notice. But something else did. The void did not answer with words. It answered with absence that now carried structure. Where once stars vanished instantly, they now flickered. As if reality itself was reconsidering. Humanity built no translators. They built frameworks of surrender. Mathematical spaces where conclusions were forbidden. Equations that refused to resolve. Models that broke if certainty was applied. Into these frameworks, they projected the void. Not as an enemy, but as a process to be mirrored. The result was not understanding. It was resonance. The void bent further around human space. Not avoiding, not attacking, but synchronizing. Humanity had become compatible with incompleteness. Union observers panicked. Humanity was accused of collaboration with extinction. Of bargaining with a force that had erased trillions of lives. Human diplomats did not deny it. They explained calmly that the void did not comprehend life or death. Only stability and instability. Determinism and freedom. The galaxy had chosen certainty. And certainty had triggered correction. Then the void reached the Union core worlds. But it did not erase them. Instead, their predictive systems failed. Their perfect simulations collapsed into chaos. Their laws became suggestions. Civilizations survived. But their mastery did not. Technology that required absolute constants malfunctioned. Empires built on precision unraveled peacefully. The void was no longer deleting. It was teaching. Humanity understood then that they were not spared. They were selected, not as saviors, but as examples. The galaxy that emerged was smaller, quieter, and humbler. Many were gone, erased beyond mourning. Those who remained remembered them only imperfectly, as if even memory had learned restraint. Humanity did not rise as rulers. They refused such certainty. Instead, they became guides of uncertainty, teachers of probabilistic survival. Interstellar law changed. No civilization was allowed perfect models. No map could claim completeness. No science could close every question. The void remained, not advancing, not retreating. A boundary condition on ambition. A reminder that reality is not owned. Children across the stars were taught the same lesson. The universe is not a machine to be mastered. It is a conversation that ends when you stop listening. Humanity never named the void. To name it would be to define it. And definition had once nearly ended everything. So the galaxy learned to live with questions. And in doing so, learned to live at all.